Hey everybody, it's attorney Justin Lovely with MyrtleBeachBackerLawyer.com, and I'm here for another episode of our Carolina Justice Report podcast, powered by the Lovely Law Firm. We are on location again here at Red Rock Harley-Davidson in Las Vegas, and I've met two new friends who are awesome in the motorcycle community, and they're going to help me. Vicky Sanfilippo, who y'all know very well in my audience. She helps with us at ASM classes, started Road Guardians. She got me in touch with these two people, so I want to introduce you to Marinova. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right, good.
That's
good. And Greg Turp here. Now, Greg's going to help us instruct some of our ASM classes in Charleston in a couple weeks, and so it's an honor to be able to get to meet him in person before we get him up to speed and teaching our classes for us through the Low Country. So, how y'all doing today? Y'all having fun?
Very good.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Time, yeah.
So we were talking before this podcast, and Polly, you were telling me an awesome story. So just kind of introduce yourself and kind of tell us about your history, and then we'll get into what you got going on at the Meekum motorcycle sale.
Okay. My name is Polly Marinova, and I'm Bulgarian. I'm from Bulgaria. I own Camp Bulgaria, which is a very famous guest house and campground for around the world motorcyclists.
Wow.
People that travel really long distance. And I happened to meet Greg in our place. Him and his wife, Melanie, they came to visit us, and we became friends.
And it's in Bulgaria.
That is in Bulgaria.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
what was interesting is that we end up living 30 miles apart in Alabama.
When you got
South
home to Alabama,
Yes.
you live 30 miles.
And
The world is a small place,
the
isn't it?
world
It gets
is a small
smaller and
place.
smaller the more you go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we both like adventure riding, and we travel across many countries, and we stayed friends for life, I would say.
That's cool. So when
And,
was this? How long when you rode up and stayed at her
Oh
place?
gosh.
Oh, it was probably first time I was there was maybe 8 years ago.
8 years
Yeah,
ago, I would
yeah.
say, yeah. And they keep coming
Yeah,
back.
we've been there
and,
maybe 5 times.
Yeah.
How often are you back home in Bulgaria versus in the States
I
in
go
Alabama?
back every summer when we open the motor camp. Now the motor camp is closed because it's winter and it's
Okay.
snowing there. Bikers do not like snow.
Oh, no.
I don't like snow neither.
Yeah, no.
So that's why I live in South Alabama, just over Florida.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so how did you figure out, Greg, when you were running or driving throughout the world and you figured out how to go to Bulgaria? How did you figure that out?
When we first started traveling, I mean, we've been on the road now maybe 10, 11 years traveling internationally. And we were just doing a loop around Europe. I think the first time we were there, and somebody said, hey, there's this motor camp out in Bulgaria, you got to go check it out. And it was small then, and it was we stopped there and we met Polly. We stayed 3 or 4 days, had a great time, and then continued on. And now it's grown so much, and it's so well known in the motorcycle community, where instead of before it used to be, oh, we'll ride past here and stay a bit, now people from all over, like Central Asia and Europe, make it a destination run. So they hold several meets all year long for different biker
Do you
groups
have a
and
lot
everything.
of events?
And the one I'm interested in is it's called Horizons Unlimited, and they deal with overland motorcycle travel, international, whatever. And so when we go there, we end up now we've got tons of friends, and everybody just sort of converges on her place, and we take it over for like a week.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yes,
one.
they do.
It's
You have your own
basically-
rally.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
a couple days, but so many of my friends come, and we'll end up staying there for like a week.
That's awesome.
And just visiting, and I mean, when you come around the corner, and it's our home away from home now.
Yeah.
So how do you get your motorcycle over there? Do you rent them? Do you ship them? Or how does it work?
I bought 3 different ones over there from fellow Americans. It's sort of a way to get a motorcycle over there. So I'd go in, I'd buy one, register it in whatever state I was in at the time, and I'll go over there, and you can just ride it just like it's your own motorcycle, leave it there when your days are done, come back, and then just go back again, pick it up.
Like, do you
where
put it in
is.
storage, or how does it work?
You can put it in storage, but I've made so many friends around Europe now, so it's sort of like wherever I end up is where I've got a friend, and they'll watch my motorcycle. Right now it's with a good friend in Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, nice.
And
I've been to
we met
Lisbon.
him during COVID. We were actually caught in COVID crossing down through Europe, headed to Africa, and COVID sort of pulled us right into Portugal. And I put out a big call on Horizons Unlimited, and somebody said, hey, I've got a friend. It was an Australian couple, and they said, I have this friend in Lisbon. They called him up, and he said, yeah, he can store his bike at my house. And since then, we've become very good friends and travel together when we're in we're in Europe. Yeah.
What kind of bikes are we talking? Enduros, adventure bikes?
Sort
what
of dual sport bikes. So
yeah.
I stick to V-Stroms because of their reliability, and you know, they're comfortable. They do just about everything I need them to do. Not well, but you know, they're sort of that middle bike where it does sort of everything. It's sort of like a mule.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it just does everything okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Paulie, how did this start? How did you start your motor camp in Bulgaria? Like, how did?
Nothing was planned, of
Yeah.
course. My partner is around the world travel. He did his first trip around the world on an Indian 1948, and we've met in Bulgaria in a bike rally. And I was there with my bike, and he was there, and I started as a translating for him. And
then years later, now you've got an awesome place that everybody goes to.
Yeah,
That
he
is awesome.
decided he wanted to have a farmhouse in Bulgaria where he can meet his friends and where he can keep his toys, because he does have a lot of toys. So.
Well, tell us about.
He know what it was going to turn into.
Yeah. So tell us about you. We were talking before the podcast. Tell us about, you've got something special you're trying to do with your partner at this Mecum sale, right?
Yeah, it happened to be that we are here with 25 motorcycles of ours at the big Mecum auction. And
so you've got them in a lot. Do you know what day they sell? Do they give you an order before when they're going to go?
We do have one today, but the next 3 days we have 7 each day.
Oh, wow. So how does that work? Do you just sign up, and they give you a spot, and then you just pay your auction fee?
Yeah, you have to register in advance, and you pay for the spot, and then you pay the.
And then you have to. Who does the logistics? Like, how do you have to ship them here to Vegas, or do they do all that? Or
had to hire a semi truck, and
wow.
actually, Greg helped us a lot with getting them running. We have 19 of them running,
and these are all. Some of them very old bikes. A couple of them are like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So you think
wow.
of these bikes that are 100 years old and getting these things running, and it was amazing to be there and help Doug do all this. And it was really a good
very
time.
cool.
Yeah.
So where did you find these bikes?
These bikes actually came from UK.
Okay.
As I said earlier, he is, I would say, one of the best hunters I know for vintage antiques, motorcycles, and memorabilia. So we do travel all around the United States, but this time he decided to expand his hunt, and it happened to be the right place at the right time when the pound was low, and there were good motorcycles all for it.
Do you find them like in the countryside, or do you find them more so in the cities, or is this everywhere?
More like at swap meets and other auctions there, or private owners as well. We do have a couple of bikes from Sweden also, but most of the bikes came from UK. They're British bikes. Most of them are antique bikes in early teens and 20s.
Do they know what they have when you're trying to buy them, or are you really finding a deal that you're going to come over here and make some money and sell them, or is that even the purpose? Is it more to restore and keep?
A lot. Some of the bikes we keep.
Yeah.
Not really that people don't know what they have and you get a good deal like this. It was the difference in the pound. The pound dropped really bad after Brexit, comparing to the dollar.
Yeah.
The other thing is searching the need for such motorcycles, the demand for such motorcycles. Obviously, the British people, they have a lot of them, and they are cheap here.
Okay. So you're playing you had an arbitrage on the dollar versus the pound, and then also just supply and demand in the States versus Britain.
And demand,
smart.
Yes. And also,
smart.
I would say this is also just a guess for me. The British economy dropped down in the last few months, so I would say less people could afford expensive toys.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So, Greg, when you're doing these, switching modes back to the adventure bike and riding overseas, like how long is this trip? Are we talking a week? Are we talking a month? You said you went to Africa from Lisbon. I mean, that's a ride.
Yeah, well, I've got bikes sort of stored around the world. So we spent the first 2 months of the year on a bike I have in Colombia. So we rode around Colombia for a bit, and I left that with a friend in Colombia. Came back to the United States for a couple weeks, and then I'd bought a motorcycle in Indonesia. And so we spent 2 months riding around Indonesia, and then flew to Bulgaria, where I had my bike stored, and
Nice.
we rode out into the Caucasus, out to Georgia, Armenia, and from there we couldn't go any farther east really safely. So we turned around, came back, and spent another 4 months just riding around Europe, and went up into Ireland, UK, saw some friends, and then back to Portugal.
How do you plan one of these? If somebody's wanting to get into, riding overseas, where do they start? What would you
Horizons
recommend?
Unlimited.
For Horizons Unlimited?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
do they give you like road trip plans and
No.
what does it
they
do?
They more give you the knowledge on how to do it, border crossings, how to deal with officials, just the logistics of that. I mean, you go on there and there's a lot of people that have done different not tours so much, but I have taken off and done this and done that. But it gives you that, and then when we fly into an area, I used to plan like a route, but now the only thing I plan is a direction some way, and I'll go counterclockwise, clockwise, and we just don't figure out where we're going to go the next day until the night in the tent, and we'll say, hey, somebody told us this is a real cool thing, and that way we don't feel like we have a schedule and we don't miss anything.
Right.
So yeah.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
So how did you get hooked up with Vicky in Road Guardians?
I started working for the Road Guardians on the background as an office assistant more than 2 years ago. I registered the classes in the website. I do the database with the students, class database.
So you've been signing up all my people then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, on the back end.
Yeah,
We never met each other.
Yeah.
Now we've met. That's awesome.
That's correct. I do your Facebook links. I do your flyers.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we met this trip. That's awesome.
Hey, yeah.
Well, hopefully you do more of that in 2024 because I'm trying to get a lot of
hope
classes,
so.
and hopefully Greg can help me get them all scheduled.
I
and he
think
can
we're
come and teach
doing
them.
very good so far in 2020. We have so
Yeah.
many more classes
Yeah.
registered, and I'm extremely happy. I like when the class is full also. I'm the one that's pushing for a class to be full.
Yeah.
So me and Vicky met on the Motorcycle Cannonball.
Yeah.
I ride the Motorcycle Cannonball as a support rider. So
Very cool.
I had to actually do her classes to be able to help the riders.
Yeah.
And then she had this position opening for a computer specialist and somebody to work with a website and the database. So
Yeah.
I
That's a great
accepted
opportunity.
it.
That's a great
Yeah.
story.
And but my heart is in the Road Guardians. I truly believe that every single biker should pass this class. I believe it in our product, if I would say, and I've been always on a hunt for new instructors. Also, I really would like to take Road Guardians in Europe and to my country.
Yeah.
We do not have in Bulgaria anything like this. We have 50,000 bikers in this little country. We have a lot of accidents,
Yeah.
and we don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
And
This would be a great resource if you can get it started over there for sure.
I would say a big part of Europe is like this. We have a big demand. We have so many bikers, and we don't have the knowledge. So I wanted somebody that could travel. The instructor has to have a medical background of some sort
Yeah.
and has to be good speaking in front of people
Yeah.
and has to be able to travel or to want to travel. And I have the perfect example here because I trapped him for us do a presentation in the
Yeah.
motor camp about his
So you're
trips.
gonna take Greg away from me and go to Bulgaria and start teaching.
Oh,
everybody. Is
yes.
that what it is?
I can
Okay.
guarantee
I thought I was
you
gonna have me a
that.
bunch of classes now, but that's fine. We'll
You
get a
can
couple
have
out
him
of
for
it.
your classes,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I can guarantee you that
That's
I'm
right.
going to drag him up in Europe and he
Well,
will have to teach
We've got
my
a good
people.
international airport, so we'll get him
Right,
over there.
yeah.
He'll be good,
Yeah.
in and out. So, and Greg, how
So-
did you get involved with Road Guardians? Oh, through Polly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
Polly's
invited him in.
been talking to me about it for a couple years, mainly at motocamp. So we'd be
Yeah.
there, and she's like, da 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 da. So she was telling me all about it, and I've been riding all my life, and I know, my whole career was in the medical field. So I know how important it is. I mean, I've been on accident scenes before where everybody's standing around looking at somebody that's injured.
They're frozen.
Frozen. They don't know what to do.
Pure
They don't
adrenaline,
know-
shock.
It's, you know, and when you're frozen like that, you don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was always the first one when I come across an accident or something is to respond and do something. Even in Bulgaria, I helped a person that had got hit. But yeah, so I finally decided I'm going to have a little bit more time in the States now, and I really want to get involved. So when I start to get involved in something, I like to go full force.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to get more people trained, get more sponsors, get more people understanding what ASM and the Road Guardians is, and you know, I'm really excited to get that going. Yeah,
That's a cool deal, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you down in Charleston. We'll meet you to my crew, and we'll get you going, get you
that'd be good.
acclimated here. Well, Paulie, Greg, I appreciate y'all being out here. Thanks for your time. You know, we're here at the NAML meeting, and you guys are helping us all learn stuff so we can all take stuff back to our home base. And, you know, we're meeting with some of the best lawyers in the country, and this is so important. It's important to me, too. And Vicki and I have known each other for years, and I try to teach everybody I know the ASM stuff.
Yeah.
I pay for it 100% at the Lovely Law Firm. We do a breakfast, we do my speech, we do a lunch, and everybody loves it. And they leave that. They know about their insurance. They know how to save a life. They know how to help their fellow rider if somebody falls. You can't beat it. I mean,
Right.
just like you said, we want our all mission, I think we would all agree, is to get everybody signed up for that ASM class.
Yeah.
So thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for you having me. And again, where am I? I'm going to close out here. Again, this is Justin Lovely. I'm here with Greg Turp and Paulie Marinova. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Again, I got it right
that's
twice, so that's good. MyrtleBeachBikerLawyer.com, powered by the Lovely Law Firm Injury Lawyers. We'll see you next time.